All right, so I got my printer and I went with the Anycubic Photon Mono M5s, I believe. Here, it's right here. Yeah, the Mono M5s Pro. I thought this was a pretty good price for something that's new, especially because if you take into account, you can always get, I got it, I paid more for it, but I got a $30 coupon, so actually it ended up being $450 instead of $460. But you can get a $10 coupon pretty much just for giving them your email. So you can get the same price that I got at this moment right now. They keep putting this clock up here, counting down. You know, this is, I don't know. It's very confusing. But right now you can get $4.59, get a $10 coupon, get it for $4.50, and then 2 kilograms of resin. And I believe it's the same resin that I got. It's the, no, it looks like height. Oh, I don't know. It says 2 kilograms of resin. Oh, there it is. ABS-like resin version 2. This is what I got. I like it a lot. So they gave you this resin here. It's $36 a bottle. Yeah, you could get 3 for the price of 2, but let's say you just paid for 2. That's $72. So if you look at this and take off $82, you know, with the coupon, you're under $400 for paying for this printer. And that beats Elegoo's Saturn Ultra. I know people are saying the Ultra is better, but hear me out. If you are a professional, you're into a long time, you're really into the details, you're a great artist, and you need all the details because the STLs you're getting are super complicated, and you love taking 50 days to paint one model, then yes, the Saturn Ultra is probably better for you from what I've seen on YouTube through my research. But I have to say that this printer is more for people like me. And what are people like me? First-time buyers. I know they say first-time buyers should get the cheapest one, and the Saturn Mars 4 I could have gotten for under $190 when I was looking at this one. I forget exactly, 180 I think it was on Amazon at the time that I was getting ready to buy, which is a phenomenal deal. I mean, if you ever see that and you need a small printer, then the Mars 4 is, you know, you can get it for a song now. However, I'm a beginner and I want features that are going to work for me. And the first feature is that I wanted a heater. This is the cheapest model that I know of that you can get a heater. And I know they're probably going to sell these, that you can put it in other Photon Mono M5s that are not Pro. And right now they're going for $400. But I figured this unit here is going to go for at least $30. It's a filter and a heater, probably $50. So why not just get the Pro, get the heater all together? But there's more features that I really like. Let's see, did they have it listed? No, they don't. You know, it's 14K resolution. You know, it is what it is. You know, everybody knows the whole scam with that. But it has a lot of features that I really like. Auto leveling, just like the M5s. However, it's got bolts over here so that you can manually level it if you know, it's not working to your liking. Of course, you've got the heater. It has a detection. It has a lot of sensors so that if your print totally fails, it'll stop the print and let you know. Now, I've had some partial failures, and it doesn't pick up on that. It's just if there's absolutely nothing sticking to the plate, that's when it's going to detect and shut down the whole thing. However, I still think that's a really good, you know, especially if you're making a big model, you don't want it to fail and use up all that resin and just keep going, and yeah, you're not going to be happy with that. So the what's I really like the heater because I put this in my basement and I like to open up the garage, which is my basement, and the door next to it and let all of the everything flow. So let me see if I can find that picture here. Okay, so yeah, I've got the door here and I open it up and I got a box fan that blows the contaminants out the door, and behind me quite a distance is the garage doors, and it gets a good flow to get all the smell and everything out of there, and it doesn't bother me. There was a smell for a little while in there, but so far I'm having a really good experience. I hope it lasts because I tend to have bad luck over time. I get good luck initially. I'm super excited, and then it just doesn't work real well. But I like everything that came with it, all the features, all the backup sensor features seem to work pretty well. If you don't have enough resin in there, it'll tell you, so that is a really good feature. So again, you don't mess up your print. So it's almost foolproof. It has so many things about it that somebody like me who has no experience, doesn't know how to really adjust anything, can just punch in the settings and be done with it and do a good job. So as you can see here, I got a lot of these air bubbles on here. It doesn't seem to affect my prints, but maybe I just don't have a good enough eye to notice. But it was a real pain to get that on there. I got so many bubbles, and then later on, I don't know if we could see it here, but I dropped the knob when I was first taking it off for the first time, and it damaged the screen. Didn't damage the main screen, just damaged the protector, so I'm just glad I put the protector on there before taking it off. Everything looked good, and my first print came out real nice, perfect in my mind. It was super easy. I think the heater kept everything perfect, and I was really, really pleased with the prints that I had. There was a couple partial fails, but they were really my fault. Well, I would say half my fault and half Anycubic, because this is the slicer that they give you, and what people may not, if they just saw the YouTube videos that were talking about the slicer, it has been majorly upgraded. When the Pro came out a couple weeks ago, I got my Pro and I got everything started, and instantly they had an upgrade for the slicer, and a lot of the issues that people had, it was a little clunky. It wasn't as smooth as Chitubox or the other one. I forget what the other one is. And now it reminds me a lot of Chitubox. It has all the different options, makes it pretty easy to move things around and just see where everything is laid out. You can tell when it's on the plate with the purple, which is where I ran into my trouble. And that's my first complaint about this system, is that sometimes when I resize it or I use the layout feature, it'll raise it off the plate a couple millimeters. See that? And so when you're doing it, you don't really notice it. You have to always check to make sure that they're on the purple before you go and print it. And that's where I had some of my partial fails, is because of that. I didn't check that. And Anycubic, I don't know why it does that. I didn't lift it up at all. I just used either the scale feature or the layout feature. And it just, for some reason, randomly pops it up there. And so before you finish your thing there, you have to make sure that it's on the plate. So, when you click on it, move, go on the platform, on the platform, on the platform, and on the platform, and now you're okay. So, when you slice this sucker, it now works. I do have to say I love the speed of this thing. So if I'm just doing these 6 models here, a little under $1 for the resin, and it's supposed to take about 2 hours. And that's whether you have, what I like about if you have them all the same size or smaller, you can fill up the whole plate. It's still going to be a little over 2 hours. And that is on the default resin fast. It's on the fast because I have the fast release film. which a lot of people don't like because it takes away some of the detail. But personally, I love it because I want to open up the garage or put it underneath my deck outside. And I only have a certain amount of time that I can do that in the day. And then I need to shut everything down or do a number of plates and then shut it down for the month, which is that's my plan. I want to be able to make the resin models I want for the month, just go ahead and knock them all out and then clean it up, put the resin back in, and just let it sit there until I get my next subscription, which will be the next month. Because I get my subscription, I get these elves from Beholder Miniatures, I guess they're called. I get them on the 2nd of the month, and then of course One Page Rules is the 4th of the month. So in that 2-day time span, I'm getting all my STLs. I slice them up, and then probably 5th or 6th, I'm making that whatever that weekend coming up is when I plan on making my miniatures. And so it's really nice. It's such a switch from going from the FDM printer where it takes 2 to 3 hours just to make one model. And it's not even nearly as good. This is just so much more efficient. I'm really enjoying myself with the resin. I don't regret getting the FDM and starting with that and working through that. But yeah, you guys, everybody was right. The resin printer is the best. It's not even close. Just the ease of use. I mean, there is a lot of cleanup and a lot of things you have to be careful of. But I have a pretty good workflow that I'm able to stay clean and healthy. Hopefully I'm doing it right. But I've got my system, and it worked out pretty good. I was pretty pleased of how well it all went down. And this summer I plan on making a ton of miniatures and when I have time and it's warm and so forth. And then when the winter rolls around, that when I get my STLs, I'll make a plate or two and that's it, So it's freeing to be able to do a whole plate. I guess a whole, I have several units that I can do in just a couple hours, because this plate is a medium-sized printer. So you can see I have 6 miniatures on here, and I've got tons of room. I really could do, depending on what the models are, regular archers like this, I could probably fit about 20. Or at least 10 with their bases, if they have certain options. Some of these models, they have swords and banners and so forth. But I figure I could put 20 models on here, give or take a couple, or 10 models and their bases. So it's just nice to have a big plate like this. If I had the Mars, I'd be probably about this size of a plate, in which case, you can probably print 5 and their bases, or 10 and no bases, which is okay, but then you're basically doubling your time that you're spending printing. So it's really, really nice to just do one big print and pretty much be done with that. I was amazed. I think I did 5 plates, and I'm happy for a while, for a month basically. And I thought that was a lot of models that I made. I made, the White Lions, a group of 5. I made, what's the other one? The Sword Masters, group of 5, with the command and everything. I made, what was it? The Sea Guard, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. The White Lions. I made a transport for my High Elf fleets. I made a unit of 10 of the High Elf fleet regular troops, 6 snipers and a leader. I can't remember everything that I printed, but I printed a lot, and I had some misprints, and their bases, and the as you can see here. Let me see. So these are the objectives. I printed out the objectives for the High Elf fleets right over here. And yeah, it was fairly easy. It took up almost a whole bottle. So it takes up more resin than I thought, because I think none of this is hollow. This is all solid, which is good for longevity, but it's bad because it uses up quite a bit of resin. more resin than I thought. So printing these out, I think, is more expensive than the FDM, but much more worth it. I was really pleased how they came out and how easy it really was taking off the supports. Because it's ABS-like, I think the little dots on there stayed a little bit more than usual. But the thing that I really like about this ABS resin, and let me see, yeah, the ABS resin, if I can get in closer, it's water washable. And that's what put me over the edge to get the Anycubic. I don't see it on Elegoo that the they have regular water washable, but here you have ABS water washable version 2. They come, the way that they come out is fantastic. I have not seen any diminishment, but again, I'm not an expert. But I really like that it's water washable. That's one less chemical I have to use. It is less smell, so my wife and kids are happy about that. And I'm able to clean off my models with regular water and not have to spend extra money getting the extra chemicals, the isopropyl alcohol, to clean off my models. They cleaned off just fine. I haven't had any problems, so I give a thumbs up to this. And it's only $2 more than the regular water washable, and it's supposed to be better and stronger because it's ABS-like. So I really like that. All right, so negatives. I already went over the negatives. Before I do, this the slicer, people had a big complaint that they had to use the cloud. Well, they put in a remote print in there, and I think that cleans up a lot of issues that people had. They were so mad that they couldn't remote print. Well, yes, you can remote print now. It's been a couple weeks since they fixed that. So, yeah, you can remote print. One of the complaints that I already said that, it doesn't put it on the plate all the time. You got to check and be careful. That's not a big deal. But the other two issues that I have are a big deal. When you save to the cloud, it takes forever. I might be doing something wrong. I got to check to see what's going on. But when I save it to the cloud, it takes hours. I mean, hours upon hours. I have to leave it going overnight. It's locked in, and it just takes forever. I got to change the settings on my screensaver and power down and so forth, just so it can upload all throughout the night. So if anybody knows what I'm doing wrong, if there's something that I can change to make it better, please let me know, because it makes the cloud almost useless to do that. I just put it on the jump drive, or I'm going to start remote printing. The app on the phone is fantastic. I love it. It tells you exactly how long it's going to take. You can just check it, be anywhere. You can go out, whatever, and see how long it still has to go. So I love that feature that you can see it on your phone. I think that's amazing. But the other thing that I really don't... actually, that's the biggest one, the cloud. The other one is actually pretty minor, and that is that the heater is not integrated into the machine. So you don't know how hot it is. When you look at your phone, unless you're standing right in front of it, you don't see the temperature of the... Let me see if I can get it here. So you see there's the temperature in Celsius of what's going on inside of there, and you can't see that on your app. And you can't control it from your app. You can control everything else, but you can't control this part. You have to plug it in and press a button, get it started. And I think that's mildly annoying. It's a little bit of an inconvenience, but you got trade-offs. You pay $800 for a printer that has an integrated heater, or do you pay $400 essentially for this? And I went with this. I'm willing to take that. So the big three things that I didn't like was the heater's not integrated, which is okay. I knew what I was getting into. The upload speeds from the slicer to the cloud is way too slow unless I'm doing something wrong. And then the app, the slicer, raising the units off of the build plate here, and you have to check it. Those are the three things that need to be addressed in the future. I think the slicer problem can be done instantly, probably. They could fix that very easy. The upload speed, I don't know. I don't know what's going on with that. Maybe it's their server. Maybe everybody is uploading at this time because they just got it and they're all excited like me and just uploading like crazy, and that's why it's slow. I don't know. So I think if the upload speed, I can handle this. This I'm aware of now. I'm good to go. I shouldn't make that mistake again, and neither will you if you have an Anycubic or getting it. But the upload speeds, and the heater, nothing you could do about that. That's what I expected. I knew my eyes were wide open on that one. But the cloud, please, Anycubic, anybody's listening, tell me how to upload faster. I expect that this should upload in less than a half hour. Okay, honestly, it should upload in just a couple minutes. That's really, I think, everybody's expectation, not several hours. But other than that, everything looks good. It looks like they have all the features that you would normally have on a slicer, so that is good. And then how do the models come out? Well, here's an early example. I didn't dry them off properly. I don't know if that's a big deal, but yeah, let's see if I can zoom in. I thought they came out terrific. Obviously a lot better than the FDM, and so I was very, very pleased, very happy about how all these models came out. As you can see, there's a lot of the supports I was trying to scrape off. It wasn't very easy. The supports came off great, but you do have this residue that you have to deal with later. I was thinking about getting a Dremel tool to deal with that. But you could see everything's really smooth. It's, I think, very, very well detailed. I'm really happy with how they came out. So, I also bought the Anycubic Wash and Cure. Everybody recommended it, said you got to get it if you really want to. I think I made the right decision by doing that instead of going cheap and just getting a pickle bowl or whatever. It is nice to just cure it very quickly instead of leaving it out in the sun, which is what I was planning on doing. Everything seemed to work out real well. I'm not sure. I think I understand the whole tackiness thing, that's not cure, and then when you cure it, it feels like regular plastic. I haven't had any bad reactions on my skin by touching it after I put it in the cure machine. Also, the wash machine, it is a one piece. It's just one machine, unlike Elegoo that I was going to get, the Elegoo that has two machines. But I'm okay with it being just one machine. It's one less thing you have to plug in. It does work out very well. Yeah, you got to pull the plate off and put the jar of water on there. But everything works really well. I got the big size so that I can take the plate and just dunk it in there, and it holds it up there and it washes everything right there. And then once it's washed and I get all the excess resin off, I can then take the plate out, knock all the pieces off, and then and it washes the plate really well. So that's what I like. And then I could take that clean plate, put it back into the printer, and then, start taking off the supports and drying it, and then I go back to the cure machine. So I thought this was a good price, $169 for a very large piece of machinery. And of course, you can get that $10 discount coupon. So it ends up being, for me, it was $159. So all in all, I spent $510, that's about $600 for this, and two of these. And that is perfect to get me started. I just had to get the mask, the goggles, gloves, paper towels. I got a little mat as you can see over here, or maybe you can't see it. There we go. I got a little doggy mat to put everything on, and I put paper towels over here, and it worked out great. The workflow was very good and fairly clean. I was, once I got the hang of it, it was pretty easy. Really, the ventilation was the key, making sure that I had good ventilation. I think I've achieved that. I could be wrong, but I think that box fan really does get rid of the VOCs. If I'm wrong, please somebody let me know. But so far, I am super happy. I will follow up on this because I'm going to let it sit for a while, and then I'm going to operate it again and see if I get the same results. And if I do, then I'm going to give it my full endorsement that Anycubic really hit a home run here, because it looks like it. Right now the ball is in the air. It looks real good. The crowd is on its feet. It looks like a home run, but I want to be sure when I start making that second run, will it be a home run? Because right now I cannot be more happy with this purchase. So tell me what you think in the comments, and I'll catch you the next time.